For this project, it really started from an engineering standpoint in 2018. In 2018, consultant Grafe was hired to design and build this project. And they worked really closely with Bill Boyle, our project manager from the development services. They came and they bid it in 2019. Well, in 2019, when they bid it, it came in quite a bit over budget. So the council decided, let's hold off, let's see what we can do to get this closer to budget. From that point, it was given to the city engineering department, my department, to take a look and see what are the alternatives to save money. Can we pick a better time to bid it? Can we lump it with some other projects to make it more cost effective? And through some of the design changes, such as some of the concrete patterning and some of the concrete colors and a couple other things, we were able to reduce the cost by roughly $100,000 based on our timing of bid and with lumping it with some other projects. But for a project like this, you look around, you've got some older buildings, there's a lot of challenges that require coordination. Starting with, just behind us was the old fountain, and it was built upon feet of concrete. How do you remove that when you've got the Union Hotel right next to it? So we had to work with the contractor to minimize the vibration because they started with a big ball and it was creating issues. So we were able to cut that and chip that apart. You take a look over on the left is the Lee building, and right underneath the sidewalk over there, they had a tunnel that was built in the 50s with rebar and steel, and that went halfway into the street. We had to coordinate with them ahead of time to get their wall blocked off, provide our contractor with enough information they knew how to bid it and how to demolish it, and we had to rip that out. We had to pull the top off and put holes in the bottom to drain and fill it. So right off the bat, you're dealing with these coordination. And then the restraints on getting things. We had to deal with Delta Fountain up early so they could manufacture the fountain. So there were just a lot of challenges in general with the urban setting, dealing with the existing facilities that are here and trying to put in the new around it. When you look at a project like this, there's a lot of different components that we're proud of, but really you get kind of proud of the overall effect. You look around and you've got the various features of the water wall, wind wall, which were, something for us that we don't normally do. The wind wall was really cool because it's a one-of-a-kind, unique piece. It was designed from Grafe, and then it was constructed by a local company, Metalstorm. And what we had to do with that was, because it was a concept, we worked with Metalstorm to come up with various fins, the parts that flap. And Metalstorm would come up with these little mocks. We would bring them out here and set them up. And we'd take a look, okay, what is the wind speed? Are they wiggling? What's going on? And we went back and forth with them multiple times to come up with the design that is currently there. They were really tremendous to work with. I think the effect is really, really cool. It moves like it should with the wind. And then we were able to add lighting. In fact, we were able to add an additional set. It has the lights up top, an additional set of lights down low to bring the colors in. The wind wall, awesome project, and thanks to Metalstorm for working with us on this. And then when you start dealing with a fountain, we removed a fountain as part of this project, but this is a unique fountain. The manufacturer is Delta Fountain out of Florida. They were good to work with. Ironically, when we started running it, we had a couple complaints. The lights kept turning off. So we kept working with Delta, and eventually, to their credit, they flew up 2 technicians from Florida and they took a look at it. They ended up on the circuit board. There's 20-some different settings, and one of them had a fault, and that was the setting we picked. All we had to do was change the settings, and going forward now, we've had minimal issues with it. You run into all those kinds of things, and then let alone with the fountain, you've got to deal with, how do you address it in the winter, because you can't have it turned on in the winter, getting all the electrical to it, tying in the controls for the lights for the wind wall, that they match the water wall. So there's a lot of different things with those types of projects. This project required a lot of people behind the scenes. Kelly Demony from the engineering department was instrumental. He was out here all the time. When you look around, you see all the beautiful hard surface, but there are layers and layers of utilities under here. Think about the water wall and wind wall. There's electric for that. There's water service, there's storm, there's sanitary, and then we had to deal with fiber optic from AT&T and gas and electric. So there's a whole layer of things that got built under here. He needed to coordinate all the shop drawings and submittals and make sure everything got built, the plants got put in, and he did a tremendous job. Bill Boyle was the project manager. As an engineer, we like to build things, but we don't maybe deal as well with the donations and coordinating those activities, and he did a great job with that. We had our electric people out here to assist, after the fact when things weren't going well. We had our water department. Grafe, did a really nice layout with the landscaping and some of these other amenities. And as I mentioned, local manufacturer Metal Storm was really wonderful to deal with, to come up with what I think really turned out to be a cool amenity, that wind wall. So, I'd like to give thanks to a lot of different people for assisting on this project. Anytime you get an award, it's a big honor, and we really appreciate people seeing what we've been able to build. And again, when I say we, it's us, it's Grafe, it's the other team at the city. We're really proud that people recognize the work and are enjoying it. We do a lot of projects, and most of them you don't get any recognition for, and that's okay because we like what we do. But it's always a thrill to get an award and to see people enjoying what you've built. You've got this hard urban feel around you. You've got Broadway concrete, but in here we've been able to put in some natural amenities to give it kind of a calming effect when you meander through the sidewalk. But in addition to that, we've got the features of the water wall, wind wall to draw people down here to enjoy the space. It provides tables and an ability for people to utilize the existing businesses, come over here, eat, relax. We've been able to have, as a community, bands and other activities here, which gets used on a regular basis. Anytime you create a facility that draws people down for enjoyment and then benefits the overall, you're pretty happy about that. We're pretty pleased with the overall impact of it.